I'm John and Sungshim, and we're glad that you're here. We want to just gather people who are interested in doing Emmanuel journaling and facilitating it and learning the things that we've learned over, I think, many years, 7, 8, 9 years. I can't even remember when we first started the seedlings of this, but we have many meaningful, powerful experiences and just want to share that. And so Sungshim and I will go back and forth. She's prepared some slides. She's good with the slides. And so I think
I'm good at telling people what to do. That's what it is.
She is good at that. So we'll have fun and we'll do some teaching. And then, so honey, what kind of questions? So we'll talk about the importance of quieting and attachment. We're going to try to cover a number of things in a short period of time, but okay. What do you want to share?
The way that I prepared today is my assumption that you guys all experience basically practice Emmanuel journaling. Is it true?
So how do you want to, you want to raise your hand?
No, I think I can see that. It's on one screen, right? Like if you're not, I know that because this is for those who already know how to do Emmanuel journaling. And then you don't need to, in a sense, continue with us with the program, it's not even program, it's nothing. It's like, not nothing. What am I saying? It's not anything like program said, but there's a burning heart, something burning inside of me that I really want to share with people who already have a practice and wanted to spread this IJ with other people. And I want to equip those people with my clinical wisdom and whatever the neuroscience, contemplative spirituality, whatever that I have. But this is for those who already knows how to do Emmanuel journaling. That's why I'm telling you in the beginning, it's not for those that I'm telling people how to do Emmanuel journaling. Is it clear? Is it? I want to set the clear expectation. That's why we are on the same page.
So, and then I want to just say, I think we're on the same page. And if you've never done Emmanuel journaling, we're glad that you're here and you can still be included. It's for you, but you just have to learn the mechanics on your own or ask one of these wonderful people or read the book or, go to our website. There's a simple worksheet. So, Anna even knows how to do the thumbs up or the heart.
So she agreed that because I'm learning in my therapy experience, unless we have agreed upon, in a sense, that small goal that we are going to achieve, at the end, it's like, what happened? So we don't even feel good about ourselves. That's why I'm saying you are here to kind of explore, go deeper with this Emmanuel journaling tool that you already love and find it so useful. Mm-hmm. If I offer whatever the 4 weeks of program or the things that I'm offering, it's going to be utilized a different version of Emmanuel journaling tool. And then I'm going to add different ways targeting a certain thing. It is good? Okay. All right. Okay, so you want to quiet us? So as an example, and then
I want to quiet you.
Oh, jeez, you cannot quiet me.
No, but that's my life goal. You have to really quiet yourself, and you have to want to. So, anybody who wants to quiet themselves, I invite you.
He tried 20 years, but until I wanted to quiet myself, he cannot do it.
I can make requests.
That's true, though. That helps.
Yes. So one of the things that I learned in my own personality, but in spiritual direction and groups that I was a part of, I integrated into our Emmanuel journaling groups was just the simple quieting down. And I mean, it's in Life Model Works and Thrive Today, but doing it in a group before we do Emmanuel journaling was so fruitful and effective that now we even just integrated in, we have a small group at church on Zoom where we just quiet and kind of think of an appreciation memory. So I'll just do a very simple quieting. And then depending on people's experience, I'm just giving you a little heads up. You can do quieting down for 1 or 2 minutes. And if the group is skillful or capable, you can do that for 5-10 minutes. So we're just going to do it for a few minutes this morning or afternoon, wherever you are. So find yourself in a comfortable position. Often closing your eyes helps just kind of you focus in to where God resides. So if you want, just kind of, if you want to move your neck and head just to kind of loosen up a little bit. I'm going to close my eyes and I invite you to as well. If you want, you can keep them open. But we'll just find a comfortable exhale. And then a deep in-breath. Long, slow exhale. As you inhale, just imagine God being present. And then a long, slow exhale. And continue that rhythm. Find a comfortable rhythm for yourself. And this is an act of worship, presenting our bodies with the intention to be present to the God who is with us, who resides within us and among us. And the scripture I think of is, in Christ, all things are held together.
Mm.
We are in different places, and yet we're held together in and through Christ. And as you notice your breathing, kind of find a comfortable pace. Notice how your body relaxes. Or it may not relax. And that's all okay. God welcomes us as we are. And in this moment, we're simply tuning into God who is already with us. We don't have to ask for him to show up. He's patiently, sweetly, joyfully waiting for us to become aware of his presence in each moment. And Lord, in this stillness, we can meet with you. When you say, "Be still and know that I am God," we can understand that as to stop striving, but to experience your presence. So we stop striving to see and hear your presence and wait and notice and detect how you are here. You are closer to us than the air we breathe. You're closer to us than our hands and our feet. And Lord, in this quiet place, maybe there's a memory, a moment of peace or relaxation or relational connectedness. We'll dwell upon that just for a few seconds, a few moments. And as we dwell upon that good and beautiful thing, that moment, notice how our body shifts, even ever so slightly. And as we are all in our places, thinking of and dwelling upon these moments, our intention is to warm up our brains and to be in tune with you so we can learn from one another, but just from some things that we've learned along the way. And really the question is, in each moment, Lord, what is it you want us to know? What is it you want us to see? And how can we be an expression of your goodness and beauty and truth in this moment? So we'll take a few deep breaths to transition. So take a deep breath in and a long, comfortable exhale. One more breath in and let go. Lord, our spirits are open to your spirit to form us and shape us into the formation of Christ. Amen.
Wow.
It's, I don't know your environments, but it's just even good for us to be still. And from that place, I think Sungshim and I have experienced enough to know that when we operate in that realm, we're more in tune with God. And we want to be in tune with you, even in this way. And I'd love for, if we had the freedom and time just to hear, how was that for you? So I'm just prompting the questions, even though we won't be able to share. What was that like? What did you notice? So now, depending on life experiences, we may not be practiced at that, and we can cultivate that. But so just notice. Something I often tell my clients, just notice.
Oh, since I want to honor Anna as our co-author of Joyful Journey, Anna, would you share what it was like for you? And maybe just, I'm sorry, other people, I'm not doing it for you, but I'm doing it for Anna. So Anna, share what it was like for you, and then even why you even show up today. And almost as you listen to Anna, almost you yourself kind of tell God, this is what am I noticing? And this was my intention to be here for this. I set aside this sacred time for what? Just kind of fill in the blank in your own, on your heart. Okay, go ahead, Anna.
You're good at telling me what to do, and I'm a good listener. No, I'm just kidding. For the people that do know me, I have probably a very difficult time slowing down. Just my life experiences ever since I was little have been, it's been chaotic, anxiety provoking situations all around. So this is probably the most difficult thing that I've had to practice all my life. And I think manual journaling is probably one of the most important tools that I've used that has allowed me probably to actually slow down. I've been to therapy, and I think it's wonderful. Inner healing, all of those things are really, really wonderful. But when I'm by myself, sitting with myself, it's really hard to slow down, be grounded. And so I think practicing this, like sometimes I would, like in the beginning when we practiced manual journaling, I remember getting up at 3 a.m. because I would be so filled with so many thoughts and anxieties, and I would just type, and I would just, it's like, it's prayer, but sometimes your prayers feel like it's just kind of going into air and disappearing. But somehow when I put these words and I felt seen by God, I think it grounded me and held me and it anchored me. And so this practice has been probably, like I said, one of the most important practices that I've practiced, which has allowed me then to practice centering prayer, all of these other things that I wanted to practice, but I couldn't because I couldn't sit with myself. And so even now, just taking this morning with a rushed morning of 3 kids doing virtual school, I'm sure all of you have experienced that. It's such a gift to just come now and be present and really receive the gift that is now. So that was my experience this morning. And maybe just to add why I chose to come is, Sungshim and I have a lot of conversations, and I do know how to do manual journaling. I've facilitated, and it's a wonderful gift. But I think what's important is that it's a tool, and unless you're practicing it, and I like what Sungshim says, with an intentional community who really desires to grow in this, it's hard. Any practice, right? It's like exercising. And so I'm really busy, as all of you are. And I really don't have time to do this. And yet I think why I showed up was we don't have a time for a lot of things, but there are certain things in my life that I want to make sure that I'm doing intentionally to cultivate that part. And so I think that's why I showed up, you know, not because I don't know how to do this and I could get information because I know Sungshim's phone number. But I actually wanted to be with you all who thought it was just as important to cultivate this practice in your own personal life, especially when things get busy. So yeah, that's why. Thank you for letting me share. I appreciate it. And thank you for letting me be here.
Oh my gosh, isn't she so precious, guys? It's like she had so much to offer. We didn't rehearse. I didn't know that she would be here. She knew that something was in my heart. She's so busy, have multiple jobs, 3 kids, but she showed up. So I was genuinely curious. Why did you do that? And that's I think she summed up why John and I wanted to create this space. So Anna, thank you so much, because you didn't even rehearse, but you're so good, girl. Man, okay, so I'm gonna just go over what I prepare a little. Let's see, is it showing?
Here, hold on. Yes. Can you guys see the this screen? Here.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can. Thank you very much.
I know when we do that, we only see the little slice of people. That's sad, but we'll come back to it.
We can get another screen.
Okay. So I love this phrase that I learned. How can you cultivate your inner stance that offers least resistance to God's presence and action? Think about for a moment. Do you have your inner stance / you can call it your presence? Your presence offers least resistance to God's presence and action. Wherever you are, whoever you meet, can you picture this possibility of having this presence or inner stance that offers least resistance to God's love and mercy flow through you? Don't we want that? I think that's why you guys are here. I don't know you all, but I know that you value this thing. I think as Jim Finney, that's the person that I learned from this phrase that he articulated so beautifully, elegantly. But I think when I listened to this phrase, it resonated so deeply. I have a presence that of anger, fear. Then when people come into my presence at that moment, there's a huge resistance for the God's presence and action flow through me. So I want to cultivate, I want to become a kind of person who has this stance, inner stance. You can call it presence that offers least resistance to God's presence and action flow through me. So, okay, John, how do I do the next? Okay, so since I just originally said why we meet, why Emmanuel Journaling, IJ Facilitator training, why I want to create this community that Anna is talking about, not because I assume that you guys all know how to do it, you already know how to teach other people, but why we need this kind of community where I can share something, why we continue to practice. Okay, as you guys know, Joyful Journey, Anna, me, and John, and Jim Wilder, the Joyful Journey book was released 2015 in Chicago, somewhere April. And then since then, it had so much positive and transforming testimony from all over the world. I can genuinely say all over, not in the United States. And I'm not gonna go into detail. And then now we come to an IJ developer, and then the person who wrote this 5 years later, 5 years, almost it's gonna be 6 years.
2015, it came out, yeah.
Yeah, so 6 years, and then Anna and I, John, we practiced more than a 10 year, like it's way more. Now I can say confidently, IJ has its own life. So IJ, from the beginning, I knew that it was a God's gift to the humanity. I don't know, it sounds so big, but something in me knew it. And then I happened to be the one who receive that kind of just sense of gift and then share freely in the format of IJ. And now you don't know how many authors actually are asking for our permission to use this tool in their book. So that's another way of just like telling. So funny story is that when I went to Korea teaching, there is a guy who wrote a book, and then he was teaching in his book the contrast and compare his method of journaling to Emmanuel journaling. And I thought it was so funny. It's like almost that Emmanuel journaling is that big that you have to really prove that yours is better, like compare and contrast. I really actually felt honored, like, whoa, it is that good? Like, so that's just one example in Korea, but here in many authors, we cannot even name them. And numerous individuals like yourself are teaching and training others with Emmanuel journaling. And then I remember one time, John, can you share that what Jim Wilder talked about, the third person, then he become a movement?
Oh, Jim Wilder, you know Jim Wilder, he's like such a conceptual thinker and so brilliant. He's talking about a movement is something when it exists without input from the originators. So if you want to say it's like Jim, Sungshim, Anna, and I, the originators. Now, Emmanuel journaling, it exists without anybody even interacting with us or any more continual input. That's how it's a movement.
Yes.
And so that is occurring, what we could just even name some: Korea, Switzerland, Netherlands. I know even on this list of people who signed up, we have Taiwan, Mongolia, Thailand, Belgium, Canada, Ireland. Ireland is with us here.
Tony. Yeah.
And even Chicago.
Okay, so how do I go next? Why I cannot do
I don't know here. Oh yes, here. Hold on. There you go.
Okay. And then this is the part that probably you'll be intrigued. So we both, Anna, three of us met at studying marriage and family therapy. So three of us are very interested in integration between psychology and theology. So this is our observation. Why do we think it work? Why like people magically saying it was so good? Why is it? Part of it is Anna already talking about the acquiring, the journaling. There's a lot of research done on not in manual journaling, the power of journaling. And there are many things I can go over, but today I'm going to just sum it in a one word. It meets the human hunger for a secure attachment. I'm going to say it again.
That's 2 words, honey.
Oh.
Sorry.
So that's what John does. Like next time I'm going to get rid of him over there.
I was so interested, like, what's the one word you're going to say?
Oh,
and then you do a secure attachment. So I'm like,
okay. So it meets the human hunger. People are hungry. People are hungry. We are living so in a wealthy country and then things look so good. But in my own practice, I noticed that people are hungry for, I'm going to say, what's secure attachment? This is Dan Siegel's term. And we are going to study more when we are together. But again, feeling safe. So again, when we are acquiring, why people cannot be quiet? When you are alone, you don't feel safe. Your heart beats so fast. You don't know why it beats so hard. Like, your hands are sweating. You cannot relax. Is it a feeling of safe? No, that's why we don't want to be alone. And we constantly look to the things that preoccupy us so that I don't need to feel not safe. Do you understand what I'm talking about? You feel always dangerous. So when somebody grew up with this secure attachment, people feel safe, people feel seen. I cannot say how many, all of my clients, their problem stems from not being seen. Their need to be seen is not met. And the third, being soothed, meaning during this stressful experience, especially life model folks, you know that 3 big emotions: sadness, shame, fear, anger, disgust, and despair. You are all alone. That big emotions, you don't have somebody else to soothe you during that pain. So those 3 things that characterize what secure attachment, odd way, we already aim it, but then why this thing works so like right away, almost magically and powerfully for some people, and then they continue, is because it meets their hunger. And especially there's the other concept that I want to just point it out, the thought rhyming process. I can see you, I hear you, I understand how big this is for you. I am so glad to be with you. I see your weakness tenderly. I can do something about what you are going through. This process, actually, we call it in our book attunement. That attunement concept was found or developed in the context of interpersonal relationship, attachment literature. It was supposed to be, if you are gonna attune is the fancy word, just think about it. Somebody has a focused attention to see your inner world. That's attunement. That attunement in word, it already has a somebody giver, right? Somebody will give you a focused attention to you, right? Your inner world. So it's like interpersonal concept. But what thought rhyming does is that we use God. God sees you. God hears you. God understands how big this is for you. And all this sequence, actually, but who's observing it? You are observing it. So what's happening is, without knowing, those who practice thought rhyming actually develop intra, meaning inside of you, you know now how to relate to yourself. It's not articulated in the book, and then I see the fruit of it, and then now I just want to be train other people, equip people, why it's happening, and then how we can even highlight it even further. So that's a main two key thing. And then obviously when it is practiced, those things, the good things, attachment, amplify the joy and peace, feeling seen, soothed, safe, those things are amplified effect in the community. And then thus, as a byproduct, a sense of belonging is easily experienced when we practice these kind of things together in community. And I'm sure that you already tasted in your own ministry. And then now, then why 2021, all of a sudden, before, like a lot of people saying, do you have more training? Can you do this? And then we are like not doing it. We are probably busier than ever. Why at this point? I think it's because our conviction grew. It was not, so then people do it. Like you can do, it's even my kids can do it. I can see you, I hear you. You can teach other people. It's like so easy. And then we came to a conclusion. Okay, but how come people still want us to do it? Or what did they want to learn from us? I already gave you what I know. That's what I thought. But it was not about what to do. It was about what presence it would bring into the room. So when John and I lead, or Anna leads, people feel something different. And I'm like, since it's invisible, like, what was that? Why they like it? I don't know. When somebody else facilitates, it's not the same experience. Even though tool itself, the container has a power, like I say, so they experience something good. But when the facilitator has this presence, then it has a huge difference. Then I realized, oh, I think what people out there asking us, me and John or Anna, to teach is the presence. How did you cultivate the presence? But then what is presence? I'm not gonna go deep. Like if you guys are interested in this concept, Dan Siegel came up with this new book, Awareness. It just really described in depth. So I'm not gonna do it, but I'm just saying in these 3 words now. Imagine, that's why earlier I say inner stance that offers least resistance. How it looks like, somebody's open, somebody's curious, somebody's compassionate. That is God's presence characteristic. And in life model works, there is the person of maturity, there is a protector, there is somebody who has a big capacity. How can we remain always open, curious, compassionate towards our own self and for the people that you serve and love? So, but inevitable aspect of cultivating this quality of presence is necessity of engaging yourself practices that will naturally, steadily help to cultivate it. It's so easy. Say like, okay, I want that. But then whatever the program that we are going to do, I want you guys to sign. Number 1, we have to have a sincerity in our heart that I want that. I want that. I want to be attached to the presence of God so that I can cultivate. I can assume the inner stance that offers least resistance to God's presence and action. That's the number one prerequisite before you come and learn with us. Okay, so then why this kind of format? We need each other, because I can do it and Anna can do it. Like Anna said, she does Emmanuel journaling so many years, like probably besides us, the number one person. Why she show up? Because she need that intentional community. Without it, we are not doing it. So how it looks like when we get together, it's like a helpful information. As you know, you guys are familiar with the 19 brain skill. When I look at those brain skills, there's an identifying your attachment style. There is a like your nervous system. You are more parasympathetic nervous system or sympathetic nervous system. And there is what's your heart characteristic. There is a things that you need to simply educate yourself. So then I'm going to provide a helpful information, not only from a life model works, whatever that I cultivate and learn, but mainly really I appreciate life model concepts. So it'll come. And then the really important part of this, I'm going to give each week different practice, but it's like a same targeting practice that cultivate the presence of, I put it COAL is the another Dan Siegel's, those who wanted to just memorize it easily. It's that he's saying it, the presence has the quality of COAL, curiosity, openness, acceptance, and loving. So I think acceptance and loving can encompass with that compassion. That's why I just use, but that's whatever the way, that's the kind of like the features of openness, not openness, presence that you want. Okay, then next. Okay, so I'm gonna just share one thing, and then maybe we have even question and answer. So you guys are really familiar with this slide, right? Are you? Okay, I don't see only Miriam. Okay, what's her name? Like, see, that's the frustrating part. Okay, maybe can we see them, John?
Oh,
See
so
them?
pull up.
Pull up come out of, because I kind of wanted to know how they are doing.
Yes.
Okay, just stop the
Oh,
slide.
no, I know. I don't actually. You see
we
how
don't
you
know.
can't see our.
The stop
No, I know.
slide.
Do you see how you can't see the
Oh, that thing, I know.
Yeah,
I had that
what did you
experience
do?
before. I know. Oh, geez.
Okay, here. So
we are
just
newbie.
no.
Escape.
What's that?
Escape.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh. Who is the
Miriam.
brilliant?
Miriam.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Okay, so that's, oh, look at Agnes. Oh my gosh, she's clapping. What? I love it. So let's just pause a little. Was it helpful? Was it you understood? So like do those like a either heart or thumbs up.
If you
So,
want to say anything in the chat, you
Yeah.
can, you know.
oh, look at
Oh my, Hillary
you are
is
hilarious, funny.
hilarious.
She
My,
is hilarious.
Hillary has these like actual physical, oh my.
heart and thumbs up.
Oh gosh,
That's funny.
that's something else. Next level, Hillary.
Oh, okay. So we are on the same page so far. You well understood. Okay, great. Then it seems like we don't even know. So far, so good, Renee. Okay, then. Okay, let's pull up
Let's just share again.
Papa Joe.
Hey, Papa Joe. Hi,
Good
Jamie.
to
Good to
see
see
you.
you.
Hi, Jesus loves you.
I love you too. Jesus loves. That's his greeting. I
Okay.
love it. Share screen.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh no, hold on,
Hold on.
John. Oh, I know why I even come out. How many people, or that slide that I show you, everybody saw that the brain, 4 levels of right brain. Okay, everybody like nodding, right? Okay, so that's good. So then we don't need to worry about Cheryl Morton. I know you.
All
Okay,
right.
guys. So this is what I was thinking. I've been on this journey since I met Jim Wilder, like brain 19 brain skills. Especially, I was very intrigued with this, the information processing pathway, Carl Lemon, my own training background, EMDR. Like, so I was just always intrigued, like, how can we make this thing is just easy? And like, how could, yes, we need to go see a therapist and the prayer, all this thing, but like, is there any way that people can really have this experience more? Is there any practice intentionally people can engage and like really work on that part?
Mhm.
I think personally, we have to test it out together, but I felt like in my clinical experience, So when I see clients and I try it out, and then it seems like it's working. So what I'm going to do is, as you guys know, the right side of brain, there's attachment center. The assessment, it's in rare leadership. Marcus said the assessment, but assessment, the word itself can be very misleading. It's not a left brain you really assess. It's like a very intuitive gut feeling of whether you know it's bad or good. So that's sort of assessing, okay? And then there's three is attunement and action. It's like that's a hierarchical thing. And when you are supposed to have this strong brain capacity, we're supposed to, we want to work on from the bottom up. And then, but the funny thing is that when attachment center, when we are suffering from insecure attachment, that's a really hard thing to really target and really heal, even though in attachment literature, it's a hopeful news is that you can make sense out of your life. And also you can really have an experience of earned secure attachment, meaning when you feel safe, feel seen, when you feel soothed in doing those especially big 6 emotions. So what I'm going to do is, can I go to the next and can we see people, or is it just, can I at least see some people like that? Yeah. So
we can go. We're just checking in on the time.
yes.
We said 45 minutes, but if you guys
Okay.
if you have to go, the recording will be here, but we'll go freely in the things we prepared. So.
Okay. So, and also probably who came here well aware of Gottman's research, John Gottman, marriage research. Do you, Sandra? Is it Sandra? I don't know whoever that is. Anyway, it's a research result and saying it when people have the married couple, when they have remained this, what's that?
Yeah.
Okay, when they remain, oh, not, can you show? Yeah, 5-to-1 ratio, meaning there is a positive 5 back and forth. It doesn't need to be a word, many times non-verbal, and then 5-to-1 ratio, even actually it's a during conflict, but 20-to-1 ratio is about non-conflict setting. 20-to-1 ratio you mean, but then what is not serving us is the brain is a negativity bias. It's like a Velcro. You don't need to practice to remember bad things or painful things. It's just like brain is work like that. So it just sticks. But then the good things are like a Teflon. It doesn't stick to you. So you need to practice of marinating and just stay in it. And then what I'm finding, this is the first time not the first time, Anna said, when I told Anna my observation, Anna said, what? Why we didn't apply that? What I've been seeing in my clients' life is that positive and negative interaction towards themselves. Remember what I say, intra-attunement. Funny thing is, you can get it from God, but I noticed that yourself to you, you are not doing 20-to-1 ratio. And that's why people they are suffering constantly.
Most people are quite harsh to ourselves. I see it myself, I see it in my clients. So if we can even just become aware, just notice how you talk to yourself. And then we can create practices and environments where that can shift and change towards God's character, which is kindness and compassion towards you.
Okay, so the next. So I'm not going to do it because of maybe I want to give the time of question and answer kind of thing. But then usually I'm going to do it in our study together. I usually do, I shouted no 7 times. I shouted yes 7 times. And then I'm going to ask you what it was like for you. And then as you can already imagine, when I say no, just even 1 time, like, whoa. What is it's like your muscles are constricting and then you are not. It's like, what did I say earlier? I want to cultivate an inner stance that offers least resistance. But when I hear no, I'm assuming this inner stance that offers the most resistance. Do you get it? But when I say yes, then what do you feel? Oh, yes. Then there's a least resistance. That's what I'm talking about. How can you cultivate this state of yes in ourselves? So the next, our brain is always asked this question, whether you know it or not, will you be there for me? And then when we hear no, That's where the sufferings keep coming. And why Emmanuel journaling? Again, as you guys know, God is the one that who say yes to that question over and over and over again. I would say within every heartbeat of yours, every breath of yours. As long as you are breathing, you can guarantee that God is saying yes to you. God, will you be there for me? God saying, yes, my child. Yes, yes, yes. When you hear this thing, yes, 20-to-1 ratio, you are gonna obviously cultivate the presence of this, the inner stance that offers least resistance. That's my conclusion from all this work with clients and the study. So what is gonna, what's the word? Okay, that's okay. So what is gonna do, like whatever that John and I will talk about it, it's not all set, but I'm gonna maybe offer 4 weeks of some sort of this kind of group practice where you will learn something, but then we are gonna only talk about attachment. And then think of ways that God can say yes to you. But then with my clients, they say, I can see God saying yes to me, but there's no real person who's really letting me know that they are glad to be with me. And then I have different ways to really target that and then help them to resolve that. But then it's not going to be one-on-one session. It's going to get, I come up with some sort of practices that will help you to engage in that. And then whenever we come together and then we can discuss and just like learn from each other. Does it make sense? All right.
Can I add something? So that's the class, but when I was just here listening to Sungshim share in this Matthew 28 passage, like the Great Commission, I just want you to think what you've been taught about the Great Commission, because I want to tie it in with hearing God's yes. It's, go and make disciples, but it also says, and teach people to do everything Jesus commanded. That's often left out in our minds of it. If we can learn to have this kind of experience with God, this sort of interactive relationship with God, then that will flow out of us, or we will desire to do all that Jesus commanded, which is bless those who curse you, be generous, kind, give freely. So it's tied to who Jesus is as our teacher, our rabbi, and learning to become the kind of people who naturally do all that he taught. So it's tied, it's connected, it just came, and this is something in my heart. Can we become the kind of people who do that? So it's not just, of course, we get healing and we feel more peaceful and grounded, but we become a kind of people. And it looks like, if you want the Sermon on the Mount, is this healing, is this inner life leading us to that kind of lifestyle? So I just want to it's like a prophetic, affirm, go, but it's not about, bless somebody who curses you, like out of your will. That doesn't work. It's like, okay, make sure you hear God saying yes to you so that it's flowing out of you to those people.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Yes, stop.
All right. Oh.
Stop sharing. Yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, that's it. That was it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, hello everyone. Now, what do you want? Some feedback, some chat, some.
Yeah. So then I think 45 minutes that we agreed to do is already done. So this time is maybe those who have questions, and let's just make it as more interactive.
So feel free to unmute yourself, and we'll try to figure out who can share. But yeah, we'll take some time. What's your takeaway? What do you hope to see? What strikes you?
I'll chime in.
Hi, Renee.
Hi, Renee here.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you wouldn't mind saying a little bit more about your thoughts on the 4 weeks that you're thinking of offering. That's one question. And then the other question is, and maybe you would address it during that time, but one of my questions is about thought rhyming and how to better facilitate or help people understand, I guess in my experience, what they perceive as putting words in God's mouth. So those are my 2 questions. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Renee.
So I think the first question, I developed, I don't think you know, except for Anna and Jamie, I developed Interactive 2.0. It comes from my observation with my clients and people, the Christian clients, and I have a lot of Christian clients. And when you already know that how to do gratitude, interactive gratitude, it's a very easy to, so then it's a standalone. I want people to use it. But when I developed the interactive gratitude 2.0, I just added a simple 2 steps that really help them to, again, interact, like what's, you will develop your mind side. Okay, so Rune, why? Okay, so what you are saying is, okay, how are we going to do this 4 weeks? Like I said, there will be a, you are going to identify your attachment style. So we are going to, John and I will maybe teach you on it a little bit, but also like there's a free test that you can take. It looks like, but again, it's a journey. It's not about, you are not that just style. Like we love those kind of identifying things, but it's a journey. You need to get to know. So number one, we kind of help you to read the descriptions of the different attachment style, even take like a simple test online, and then just kind of, oh, maybe it's me. So you begin kind of getting to know your attachment. So then once that attachment style is identified, I just assume that a lot of us are suffering from insecure attachment. So then from there, my goal is to, how can I design practices that cultivate people to experience God's yes in life model term, basically joy, glad to be with you. It's not only like, hey, Papa Joe, so glad to see you. And some people actually cannot do it. And I have the exercise for that. Like then some people saying that who show you that? And they say, never, I don't remember anything. And this is what I will do to my clients. Okay, I'm so sorry that you didn't have that experience, but it's my conviction. And confidently, I'm telling you, unless you have this glimpse, fleeting moment of somebody's joy in you, that's God's mercy in us. And if we didn't have that moment, we are not here. We are not going to be a normally functioning person. So even though you don't see it, why you are looking for it in a mom or dad or the person that you really wanted to get from. But I guarantee you, you have it from somewhere else. It might be fleeting, so glimpse. But can we pause it? So I have a ways to really giving them how to get through it. So then, like, it's amazing. It's just the one person who just smiled, that there was meaning of it. Like, so then I turned it into a process of hearing God. So those are the 4 weeks. There is a different practice, like I say, but then I'm going to surely bank on, I'm not going to intentionally bring up the pain for 4 weeks, really about knowing that you are precious, important, valuable. And what I love this phrase, you are deathless preciousness to God. I want somehow this 4 weeks of whatever the training, people need to continuously engage in their place. That it doesn't guarantee that your attachment center will be all healed. That's not what I'm guaranteeing.
4 weeks is too short. You really need 5 weeks. And so we'll do our best in 4, but then you just need that extra week. So no, we will create that. We have probably actually way too much for even 4 weeks. So you will be our experiment. Like we'll learn together. We're going to learn how to teach and train and equip together. But that's one thing that I'm learning for us. We just start creating, do stuff, get feedback, you'll make it better. And even Jim Wilder said he would rather have an imperfect presentation out there. We wrote this book, we practiced for years, but we wrote this book in 6 weeks. And it could have been done better and edited and all those things. But now people have it all over the world. So that's the point is, and I'm saying it to us, I'm saying it to you, whatever's in your heart, create those moments, create those things, go do it, and you'll get feedback, and there'll be more beauty in the world because you just started. So that's kind of my encouragement. She also asked about putting words in God's mouth. Okay, first response is people do it all the time. So that's one. That's sort of like a kind of a snarky answer, but I actually believe it's true. 2, when you're doing the journaling, it's ideal if you operate from the right brain, which does not critique and assess that in that moment, is this from God or not? You just have to write free flowing, knowing that afterwards you can check it out with your circle, your friends, your mentors. against, so, we have it against God's word, God's character, and God's community. So there are the safeguards. And then over time, you get to know, oh, this is basically resonating, oh, a little off here. And I would rather have people engage and interact with God and get it totally wrong. Over time, the trajectory will move towards goodness. Of course, people can go off the rails. They do all the time. But as long as we have some safeguards and we're moving with the intention towards goodness and we're humble, I think you're less likely to go wrong rather than the rigid beliefs we have inside without exposing it to God's goodness and God's community. So I hope that answers your question. It's a question we get a lot. So we see that and hear that. We get it.
Maybe another thing is, even though we originally Emmanuel journaling coming out, God, see, you know that in the revised version, we put that Exodus 3, God is the one who sees and hear and know and do something about it. And it's just simply based upon that. It's not like I'm really having a hard time whenever people ask the question, because it's based upon God's character. Any good parents, if you are in a attachment research, any good parents who knows how to give their undivided internal focus on the suffering child, you convey them, I see you, I hear you. It's just nothing. It's not the word. Like it's I see you, your physical sensation. I hear, thought. Thought they are always there. That it's not even what God tailor and then say it. It's like basically I see you, I hear you, I get you. I'm glad to be with you. That's what God's saying. To me, I can tell those people it's found in Exodus 3. It's God's character.
With the Israelites, he hears their cries, he sees them, and he delivers them, which deliverance is the meaning of salvation. And so it's embedded in there. That's just one of the clearest accessible ways. But if you look at Jesus, I'm pretty sure you could see his character revealed in that way. A question that
what's the verse? I think Exodus 3.
Somebody asked about, for the class, it's the 4-week class. How much will it cost? We're figuring these things out. And I'll just share a couple of values that we have. One, we never want money to be an issue, so it will never be an issue. So what if it costs $1,000 and you can only pay 20, that's fine. So one, okay. And then two, people grow when they have skin in the game. It's a very valuable philosophy that we have. And people always spend money where they want to. So, and then we're not going to check your tax returns or anything like that. We're just going to take what you say at face value and let you pay whatever you can, or we'll work that out. But the highest principle is money will never be an issue. You can always access it. And you should put some skin in the game. So I hope you know our heart, because actually it is to serve you. You will get more out of it if you put something into it.
If you guys know my heart, Anna and John know me the most. I grew up really dang poor. I hate this kind of valuable things. I'm gonna cry. If it's a hindrance to me, it's not gospel. But I'm also learning in my clinical experience and all that, like John said, if we don't put the valuable thing, it's not gonna serve you. That's why I want to really freely give. I want, but it's for your really own sake, and it's not going to be expensive. And then like John said, if you don't have money and you cannot do that, that will never happen. You can be always part of it.
So that's good. So I hope you know our heart, and our heart is, honestly, we could see clients and make more money than teaching this class. So it is not about money making for us. But we wanted to, there's a give and take. And what's that?
What's that, Papa Joe? You want to say something?
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I have a question. It's not quite related, but who knows, it might be. So I've been thinking about relational circuits and the Enneagram. And so when I'm a 7, when I'm doing well, I go to the worst of the 1. And then that is, when I'm stressed out, I go to 1. When I'm doing well, I go to 5. So, and it's kind of like when my relational circuits, my joy circuit is off. That's that's what happens. I go to the 1 when I'm not doing well. And so have you done some teaching on Enneagram and and all the stuff you're saying today.
It's so funny, Papa, you said that we were requested by a company wanting us to do the the Enneagram
integrated.
the RC. So you and I will talk more, because
Okay.
I exactly thought about the same concept. What number am I, and then the RC of things. So, but anyway,
Okay.
I just recently worked on that and thought through. But it doesn't mean that it's out there. I'm just saying it. I've been thinking about
Yeah.
it, resonating
Okay.
with you.
Well, that's helpful just to know
Yep.
we're kindred spirits here.
Yes, kindred spirit right there. Yep.
Can I ask a question just to kind of clarify? So I don't know, maybe
Who
I
is who's speaking?
misunderstood.
Oh, I want. Oh,
Carol,
Carol. Hi,
Carol.
Carol.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Oh, no, it's good. I
Um,
just want to know.
So this was to be about possibly or Emmanuel journaling facilitator training kind
Yeah.
of thing, right? And so what your focus is then is on the presence, the coal,
Yeah.
that thing, right? So that's
Mhm.
you believe that's
Yes.
that's the most important, that's the ultimate thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but
Yes.
Carol, like, do you have some follow-up? You know, like you want to know some of the mechanics of how to facilitate and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will definitely
Will do,
include that.
yes.
Yeah, that's it. And we're maybe overemphasizing presence,
Presence.
because I mean, it could be as simple as gather 5 people together, sit in a circle, open with
yeah.
quieting.
We do have those.
Baby, I'm talking.
Oh, sorry, John.
Yeah, this is.
I'm just like.
Hello. It's okay. Turning my RCs back on, and I'm here. So we will go through that, but I could give you like 7 points on how to facilitate an IJ group, and the difference maker is, does the person have the presence?
Yep.
When someone shares their, just as an example, someone reads their manual journaling and it's about a big emotion. And what a lot of caring Christians want to do is turn all their attention to that person. And if it's rescue and like all the attention goes to them, can we learn how to create the space where they can be held by our presence and God's presence, and it's safe for them and everybody? So that's the kind of life experience that we've had in sharing, but we'll share those stories and even equipping and then go for it. So that's one example, but yeah, well,
So
that's important.
the little bits of the practical stuff will be part of the 4 weeks, or that will be
no,
more,
no.
like that will be.
No, because I was assuming that these people were
but how to, I think Carol's asking, and then maybe you can see we're discovering it. So you just said no like 3 times, honey.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you could just say it once and they get it. Okay, so you assume that they do manual journaling, but
And I do.
Right. But manual journaling facilitator training, how to facilitate a group, that's not written that much in the group. So that's something you can see. I think we may have a little difference of ideas.
Okay, so Carol, what I can say, within 4 weeks group, that's not part of so curriculum design is in my brain, okay? So in my 4-week design, it's not there. I can see the need of it. So John and I can create another video or another webinar for those how to do it, that we can definitely do it, but it's not in my mind. The 4 weeks that I just said, it's not part of it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody asked, what's the name of the author of the book, Awareness? I actually think it's Aware, the science, and it's Dan Siegel, Dr. Dan Siegel.
Yeah, another thing that you can get from our time together is that we'll be sharing where we learn, so you can venture into the neuroscience.
Why did you quote learn? Because we're actually learning. It's not quote learning.
Oh my
actual
gosh,
learning.
why he's doing that? Oh gosh, like, it's just like, can you just leave me alone and just make mistake and it's okay?
No, I was just curious.
Okay, I don't know why I did
open
that.
and accepting and learning of your learning.
Okay, so what you will also learn is that references, where you will go, and like it's like the things that how we got learned, so that those who are interested in go in depth in those places. So that will be one benefit that you can get from us. All right.
So we are literally just starting, and we will learn as we grow and get feedback. And so it's like kind of a guinea pig, and you get to be part of the first cohort. I mean, whoever wants to, and we figure out those details, we'll share them with you. But then we'll get better, and we all learn together. So my encouragement, just like us, as you can see, it's not all finalized, and the goal is not to be perfect. It's to create community while we learn together.
Oh,
That's how I see it.
nice.
So that's what we're doing.
Okay, love you all, and we gotta go.
And you feel free to email us, or I guess email me.
Bye, Agnes.
Yes. So we love you guys. Good to
Uh-huh.
see you all over the world.
Yep. Bye.
You are loved. We're
Pacho,
here for you
Cheryl,
in our little
Jamie,
limited way.
Hillary, everybody, Susan,
Yes.
Tony,
Darth,
Christopher,
Ray,
Sandra,
Kate.
Maria, Renee, Suzette, Carrie, everybody.
Hillary is hilarious. So, right?
Sue. Okay,
Yeah.
Susie, Kate,
right.
everybody, Ray. You guys have a wonderful day,
Lynn.
Lynn. And I'll miss you.
Bye, guys. Blessings on
Bye-bye.
your vocation work
Yep.
today.
Yeah. Oh, Susie, bye.
Okay.
Bye, Sandra.